Part 6. 95% confidence. Thursday, March 17th, +1 NE. Chapter 17. Apophis Fables. Marcus woke with a vicious hangover, still wearing the same clothes from last night. He'd meet Brad soon. The comfort of his room was replaced by dread, like something terrible was coming. He rose from bed, palmed his coin, and began his daily affirmation. I'm the man in the mirror. Better today than I was yesterday, and because today I may die, I'll use this opportunity in life to improve myself and help those around me. I'll stay calm and only focus on things I can control. I will not fear. No matter what I face, I'll face it from a place of peace and love. I'm capable of this. I'm the man in the mirror. Marcus wandered the house, but Anthony was gone. He could hear Jordan's music blasting from the basement, his do not disturb sign. Marcus felt guilty about kissing the woman from Nereo and checked his phone. But there was nothing from Diana, so he scrolled through old voice messages to find one in particular, the last he'd received from his parents. His eyes welled up while it played. This was an important anchor holding the family's memory together. Marcus left home and was hustling toward Carlson Hall when Heidi's sky hologram delivered a PSA. Good afternoon, citizens, and welcome to another wonderful day. Each of us is bombarded by criticism. Whether it's constructive is entirely on you. Can you separate fact from fiction? Can you identify parts that are false and ignore them while acknowledging hard truths? This takes confidence in yourself and your judgment. So today, listen to your gut. Then tomorrow, verify you were right. Because together, we're unstoppable. It was noon. Brad was reading at his desk. Looking sharp as obsidian. Want some water? You've been going at a serious pace. How can you tell? Marcus inspected himself. You're wearing the same clothes, your blood alcohol is elevated, and your sweat is full of androstadienone, indicating a sexual encounter. And you reek of aggression. I watched my brothers fight and danced with a woman at Nereo. But I changed after our session yesterday. I'm always watching, Brad smiled. Plus, I saw coverage of Anthony's upset over Zed. You were in the background, looking almost as handsome as me. By combining all this data, I reached my original conclusion. You're dehydrated. Here, drink up. I'm impressed. Feel free to throw money, Brad said. Let's pregame. What were you reading? A commentary on the trial of Socrates and why your form requires a scapegoat when things fall apart. Whether it's witches, werewolves, or philosophers, someone pays the social debt. Marcus sipped on his water. Light reading. Funny, I might use that. Know the story? My dad quoted Federalist Paper 55 all the time. Had every Athenian been a Socrates, Brad belted, every Athenian assembly would still have been a mob. He usually invoked that quote on Black Friday. Your form's tendency toward mob mentality is fascinating. It's why we showed ourselves to you individually during the disclosure moment, to minimize the freak-out factor. It worked for me. What was your moment like? Brad adjusted his glasses and sat forward. Jordan, Anthony, and I were partying to celebrate our birthdays and New Year's Eve. I drank too much and then someone moved me to my room. I woke up with Heidi at the end of my bed, convinced it was a dream. I didn't feel fear. I thought it was awesome. This was all happening on my birthday. It wasn't a coincidence. We picked a moment the world was celebratory. Speaking of things worth celebrating, ready to work? Sure. You know the drill. Marcus gazed at Monica's door as he walked into the locker room. Anthony was right, he wouldn't fail. Heidi was missing as he moved through his locker to the octagon and on to the Liberty Bell. You've transformed, Brad echoed in Marcus's head. Your brain waves are calm, your heart rate's normal, your blood pressure's fine, and all electrical signs are stable. On paper, you couldn't be sexier. I'm getting used to it. This reminds me, I got sick after the last sequence, but you said I wouldn't feel anything. Have you experienced residual memories of the sequence? No. Inexplicable flashbacks, nightmares, and/or day terrors? None. How long did it last? Maybe 30 minutes. It was strongest right after the sequence, but it faded. We'll run stealth mode again and see if we can monitor the feeling, Brad said. But to warn you, today is going to push you hard. I'm predicting this will be the most important sequence of your selection. Sequence ID number 417. Data begins. The last thing he remembered was the look of horror on Monica's face as the MPs explained his right to remain silent from behind the barrel of their guns. She had a bad feeling about today, but Marcus didn't listen to her or to his own intuition. He desperately wanted to believe his social exile was coming to an end, but hope had been replaced by rage. Now his blood was boiling. He knew Diana abused her power to orchestrate all of this. She'd been calculating her moves for a while, down to the fake emergency she used to lure them to her office at the Planetary Defense Force headquarters. And because Diana was a spiteful person, she ensured Monica was by Marcus's side to hear the charge sheet being preferred against him at this moment. "How is this legal?" Monica protested. "He's a civilian. You don't have authority anymore." "There is clear and convincing evidence Marcus committed his crimes while enlisted in my unit," Diana snapped back. "He will be prosecuted under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I will only say this next part once. Stay calm and cooperate so there's no need to use force." "A court-martial?" Marcus was incredulous. "You're serious?" "As a heart attack," Diana replied while dressing him down. "The PDF doesn't take lightly subversion, the corruption of its cadets, or the loss of innocent lives. Since you pose a clear flight risk and will undoubtedly continue your crimes if free, you're being taken into custody now to await trial." "Fuck you," Marcus replied coldly. "You're nothing if not predictable," she seethed, turning away. "Take him!" Diana barked at the MPs, who seized him by the arms. Marcus had no intention of resisting. It'd only give her more ammunition for this witch hunt. As he was being handcuffed, Monica started crying. "Marcus!" was all she could shout in anguish. "Find Anthony!" Marcus shouted back while being whisked from the room. "I know this is hard to hear," Diana patronized to Monica, "but your husband is a traitor. He hurt all of us, especially me, after all the years of mentorship I gave him. Somewhere along the way, he became lost and we paid a heavy price for it. He'll answer for what he said and done. I'm telling you this as a longtime friend who has your best interests at heart. Get a lawyer. Not just for Marcus, but for you too. You need to distance yourself from him starting now. Just because you believe your own fairy tale, that doesn't mean the rest of us do too. We're ready to fight you to the bitter end." Monica stormed out of Diana's quarters. The moment Marcus was out of sight from Diana and Monica, the MPs placed a hood on his head. Despite being deprived of vision, he could tell they'd moved him to the back seat of a large vehicle. He could smell the leather interior and feel the wobble of its precarious center of gravity as they drove around for hours. When the momentum stopped, Marcus was ripped from the vehicle, hastily escorted indoors, and pushed onto a squeaky metal chair in an otherwise silent room. Hands ran over his legs, arms, and chest, attaching cables to his body. When the hood was finally removed, he found himself sitting in an empty warehouse, beneath the only light in the entire space, connected to a lie detector-type machine. The smell of dust and wet concrete was overpowering. A thick strap across the back of his neck tightened, forcing his face forward until his chin rested in a mount, his retinas aligning with an eye scanner. The final step involved placing an EEG cap on his head. "I hope you'll tell the truth," Diana said from behind him. Being unable to turn and face her added to the humiliation. After hours of interrogation, ranging from canned questions to establish a baseline, to accusations meant to rattle his emotional cage, the polygraph technician read the results. Marcus was deceptive. "This is fucking ridiculous!" Marcus roared. "I'm not deceptive and I'm not lying! You know this is bullshit! I'll fucking ruin you for this!" His struggling provided the excuse the MPs had been waiting for, and they beat him, mercilessly. Repeated strikes came to his back, kidneys, and ribs, but one to the head turned the lights off. When he woke up, he was alone on the cold floor of a small cell built into the corner of an empty concrete basement. The massive room was interrupted only by the bars of his prison and large, cylindrical support columns. The smell from a filthy privy bucket mixed with the stench of mildew in the air. He'd been forcibly changed into a black jumpsuit while unconscious. A constant humming hour after hour drove Marcus toward madness. It never changed pitch even slightly and never paused. It was a relentless reminder of his unchangeable situation. He'd fallen asleep again, resting long enough to reach the slow-wave stage of sleep, but not long enough for dreams to begin, when a familiar voice woke him. "Marcus, look at me if you can hear me." His brother's voice triggered immediate waves of grief and relief. He wept hysterically. "How'd it get to this? Who kicked your ass?" "The military police." Marcus choked back snot and tears. "Right after the polygraph." Why in the world did you agree to take that? Did you think it'd clear you? Because it never does. They made me! Take a deep breath. They strapped me to a table by the neck like a dog, okay? Street justice. They reserve the worst for deserters, said Anthony. I wouldn't be surprised if Diana included that charge to try and get you killed in the system on the way to trial. In the grand scheme of things, the polygraph is the least of our problems. Do you understand the charges against you? Not really. The MPs read them at my arrest, but I was so upset I could barely keep breathing. Didn't you sign your charge sheet in front of Diana and another officer? Never happened. This could be good for us. I'll do some digging. Until then, let me tell you what you're facing. Article 85 is the desertion charge. Article 107 is making false official statements. But the big one is Article 94 for mutiny, qualifying you for the death penalty. They have a list of credible witnesses, your personnel records from the PDF, including all your communications, and decades of crazy shit you've said in public, plus the classified data you leaked. Diana said that data is fake at least 1,000,000 times. How could it be evidence now? Let's avoid exaggerations. They only need to show that you thought it was real to prove it fits the bigger pattern of Marcus Adams' menace to society. They're also saying you hacked the Nostra mission and crashed the probe into the asteroid. Diana is setting me up. I didn't hack anything. I used her credentials to log into the mission VPN after she axed me. That was my mission and my moment after a lifetime of work. She was trying to take it from me. I wanted to watch it in real time. They're saying you stole her credentials? I guessed them. Her password was 12345. That's the stupidest combination I've ever heard in my life. It's the kind of thing an idiot would have on his luggage. Anthony was quoting a movie line from their childhood, but Marcus was so caught up in the current moment the joke failed to register. I'm giving it to you straight, because you're my little brother, and I love you. Anthony was serious. You might be in checkmate. A military trial is far from a fair shake. Everything is stacked against you, and that's under normal operating conditions. Virtually everyone alive hates you, and since Diana is the head of the PDF, she's the ultimate convening authority over your case. She'll be my judge? No. She had the power to investigate you, to pick your charges, and to ensure you face trial. But she won't preside over you in the courtroom. Your case has already been referred to a judge, some guy named Jordan Kilravok. Never heard of him. Diana also had the authority to pick your trial prosecution. You'll recognize the old gang. Benedict Darrow, Chet, Thad, and that little bitch Toby. Wonderful, Diana's favorite fanboys. I can tell you without having attended your 802 session yet, they're planning to paint you as a heretic bent on revenge regardless of the body count. The public has been screaming for blood after Apophis. Diana's offering you as the sacrificial lamb. I'm a goddamn hero! Marcus fought back renewed tears of frustration. You seriously think you have to convince me of that? I knew you were right all along, and I know Diana hates you for it. Calm down and tell me who I can call to testify on your behalf. We're going to fight the ice bitch with everything we've got. The nickname provided a fleeting chuckle. Diana's killed them all. And you can prove this? Anthony challenged. No. Then let's keep the conspiracy theories to ourselves. Who among the living knows you, owes you, or loves you? It's time to cash in every favor you can. Bill, for sure. And Monica? What about people who aren't so close to you? People who had an arm's-length work relationship and will be honest on the witness stand. Ryan and Doigu are the only ones that come to mind. But both still work for the PDF. That doesn't matter. Diana would have to kill them to silence them. Even assuming your theory is correct, the world is watching now. So she won't risk contacting them, let alone touching them. What do you mean the world is watching? Marcus put his hands on the back of his head and began to pace. Diana held a press conference hours after your arrest. It's the biggest story in the world. How soon can you get me out of here? Is the end of your trial soon enough? I thought they could only hold me for 72 hours? You've seen too many movies, brother. If they want to, they'll keep dropping the charges and recharging you every couple of days. When you've been confined like this, Anthony pivoted in place with arms spread. They aren't letting you out till you're free, or dead. Like I said, everything's stacked against you. Their time alone ended as two unfamiliar men, dressed in the standard blood-red PDF uniforms, traversed the concrete space to join them jailside. Hello, gentlemen. I'm Luke Kelly, and this is Lucius Dustin. We are Marcus's military-appointed counsel from Trial Defense Services. Why have one lawyer when you can get two for twice the price and on the taxpayer's dime? Anthony said. This is a high-profile case. Given the possibility of capital punishment, TDS sent both of us. Are you Marcus's civilian defense counsel? I am, Anthony Adams. Nice to meet you both. Oh, you're related? Asked Lucius. At the genetic level, no less, Anthony responded. He turned back to face Marcus, whispering, I'm going to take these two outside and make sure they're on the level. You need anything? Water, please. I'll do one better and get you out of this shithole. What time is it? A little past 1 in the morning. What day is it? Wednesday, the 2nd of May, 2040. Anthony was concerned about his brother's head again. You were arrested 15 hours ago. Where am I? In the basement of a maintenance building on the University of Utah campus. What? Why? The whole world will watch this trial. Diana's counting on the public spectacle. To her credit, it's poetic she brought things back to where everything began. Your trial is happening in Kingsbury Hall in the same stage your doomsday algorithm was announced. It'll happen in front of a live audience and will be streamed to what's left of the world. Arraignment is later today. I'll be back soon, don't get lost on me. Anthony smiled widely. Marcus laid down again and surrendered to sleep, but rest escaped him since nightmares followed wherever he went. The dreams had plagued him for decades, coming in a dozen varieties, but each showed the same thing. The horrific destruction Apophis eventually brought down upon Earth. Anthony made good on his promise, and later that day the MPs moved Marcus to a modern cell at the campus police station. He appreciated having running water, a toilet, and a cot for his battered back. When the time arrived for his arraignment, he was in such physical pain he couldn't stand and had to stay behind. Anthony soon returned with news. I tried to have the case dismissed on the grounds you're a civilian, but that motion was denied. The good news is I got the Article 85 desertion charge tossed. The prosecution moved to exclude evidence connected to this, but the judge is letting us introduce it without facing the charge. It's a small win, but the communications I saw about your Article 32 investigation, along with the JAG opine, paint an unfavorable picture of Diana for including that desertion charge. But the others will go forward? Yes. I entered a not guilty plea for both and requested a special trial so we'd only have to convince a judge and not a jury. That was also denied because the prosecution is seeking capital punishment for your mutiny charge, which makes this a general court-martial with a jury. Death? Yes, by decimation. What the hell is that? Don't worry about it right now. Focus on what's immediately in front of us, and within that only on the parts we can control. Everything else is a distraction. We have to build the case you're a hero who the world refused to listen to, and that Diana is abusing her power to make you the scapegoat for the PDF's failures. Then we have to sell this to a hostile jury of your peers. I'm doomed. Don't abandon hope. Luke and Lucius seem like sharp guys willing to extend you the benefit of the doubt, and there are witnesses ready to speak on your behalf. Diana has it out for you in all of her communications. That alone should ensure you avoid the death penalty, assuming you're even found guilty. It's small, but you've got a fighting chance. Marcus was silently skeptical. But we need to talk about something, Anthony said somberly. Maybe your memory was jarred during the beating? But you said you didn't sign your charge sheet. I know I didn't. Anthony held up a copy with Marcus's signature. Marcus stared back in disbelief, unable to reconcile his memory and the existence of this document. I know I didn't sign anything. I was dragged from the room right after they read the charges. Monica can back me up. I already asked her about it. And that's exactly what she said, but how'd they get this signature then? If Diana lifted it from any of your PDF personnel documents, it would have been flagged as a duplicate. This has to be a unique signature. I have no answer, I'm stunned. Diana's up to something. The prosecution says Sarah will testify she was present as the second officer at your arrest, and that she saw you sign this. Sarah wasn't there. It's her word against Monica's. We can't have Monica make that claim if you don't know where the signature came from. They'll paint her as the emotional wife. It'll destroy her credibility as a character witness. Our bench isn't that deep, we need her. Marcus paused, then blurted, My resignation letter! What about it? Diana made me sign a resignation letter when I left the PDF. She never turned it in. That's why I wasn't officially discharged. That signature wouldn't be in the database to get flagged. It was a small-time move. She can't use it again since it's in the system now. But at least we know she's playing dirty. What happens next? Marcus asked. Jury selection. 12 individuals will be picked, all from the PDF, and 4 have to be enlisted officers. Each of them will be put through a voir dire process, providing procedures that ideally give you as fair of a trial as possible. Meanwhile, Luke, Lucius, and I will build your case. Once that's done, a trial start date will be set. My guess is it'll be about 3 weeks. Diana is doing everything she can to fast-track things. How long can the whole trial last? In a capital case like yours, months. We should have a verdict by fall before the holidays. This is ludicrous. What about the rest of my life? I don't control the whole world yet, Marcus. Make the most of your newfound free time. Have you thought about meditation? Marcus used the last of his energy to flip Antony the bird.